My life right now moves between two very different environments. On paper, they seem incompatible. One feels very rural, raw, simple. The other feels very polished, ambitious, refined. But I'm beginning to realize they don't cancel each other out. Maybe the goal isn't to choose one of them, but to become someone strong enough to carry both. This is episode 1 of Intro, where every episode moving forward will be an introduction to something new. In this video, I'm going to talk about living between two worlds and what each world brings to the table when it comes to building my brand and legacy. I'm going to take you guys on a little trip in the village, and in order to do that, we're going to go to my other house. But my other house is something that I've been building, kind of like taking my time to build. It's the house where I've built that wood wall behind the TV made of 3,600 slices of wood. And my uncle actually has the key to that house because certain tasks that he helps out with in the building. So we're about to go and meet up with my uncle, grab the key and head to the house, explore the village, and we're off to hit the city, baby. I asked my uncle for the key, and so he said, yes, bring this cafe. I told him, consider it done. He said, please, عشان نروق, which means in order to unwind. So I told him, بدي أجيب لك شيء تاني عشان نروق. He actually thought I meant, something other than this cafe, but then he finally got it. In memory of my grandfather, the King of Kings, may his soul rest in peace. Places like villages are amazing if you want to get a sense of your roots as a human being, because you're so close to Mother Nature. And life here is so simple. And there's something about the essence of human beings. We're not meant to be that overloaded and anxious all the time. So there's something about being able to rest and take things slow. There's a truthfulness here that applies because people are simple. Life is simple. You don't have a lot of people with hidden agendas. And even if you do, at least from my experience, they're usually pretty small hidden agendas. And that might be linked to wealth and power and money. I mean, there's definitely millionaires in the village. But at the same time, there's the opposite end as well. I love being in places like this because it helps me stay grounded. It gives me a sense of humility. It's a great place for family, rawness, beauty, and it tends to give you a different perspective on life. So these are some of the trees that my grandfather and grandmother, may their soul rest in peace, have planted. And then also you got the chickens at the end of that corridor. I always thought of the village or mountain areas in general as places where people go on vacation or to retire. So to me, it feels like a blessing that I live here. I never would have thought in a million years that I would live in a place where I get to see cats, chickens, nature, live in solitude and peace, and discover more about myself through a very simple way of life. But also, I would have never thought in a million years that I would end up working in a beautiful office in downtown Beirut for some of the most prestigious clients in Lebanon and in the region. But here we are today. And that's actually one thing that is close to my heart when it comes to the downtown area and the downtown region, is that it gives me this feeling of prosperity. Right? Any country in the world, you would actually need to go to the city in order to build yourself a nice career. So this is the downtown view. Right over there, you got the mosque, the famous mosque. You've probably seen a lot of cool designs. You got the church here. And then you also have the Beirut Suit area. And then you have Foch Street right there. Try and get a little close up there. And one thing really cool about the mosque here is, aside from the solar panels, is they have this ladder, right, where you can kind of climb up the ladder and reach the pinnacle, which is something so metaphorical and iconic to me. Another thing I love about an area like this is the harmony between the mosque and the church. That reminds me of the unity that is needed, not just in Lebanon, but all around the world, for us to unite and act as one. For a while, maybe I felt some tension between these two worlds. Maybe one seemed more respectable and the other seemed more small, or one looked like success and the other looked like simplicity. But actually, both are giving you something that the other cannot. And that's something for you to consider as well if you're living between two or more worlds, that this is something to embrace. Living in multiple worlds and being in multiple situations is something that contributes to your identity and to your story. They help shape and define your brand and your legacy. The village keeps me human while the city sharpens my standard. The village gives me roots while the city gives me reach. One slows me down enough to think and pause and meditate, while the other pushes me to become more and exceed my limitations. And you know, I used to think these worlds were pulling me apart and that I had to choose a definitive word to associate with my identity. But now I'm convinced more than ever that the worlds are building me from both sides. So we just finished from a meeting. It was a pitch meeting, actually. One of the most prestigious brands here in Lebanon. I can't say too much about it just yet. As far as I know, there were a lot of agencies that were competing to work with this client. We got the deal. Moments like these, I always remember that whenever deals like this are closed, that these kinds of things don't happen overnight. I've worked on myself for over 15 years. So you can say that this entire thing is a culmination of 15 years of working hard and developing myself and teaching myself and just having that mindset and attitude that as long as you improve 1% better every day, then there really is no limit to what you can achieve. So after the meeting, we ended up going back to the office. We're currently in downtown Beirut, by the way. We're about to head into Aswaq, Beirut. The office is like a 5-minute walk away from here. Situation in the region gets very tricky. You gotta be prepared for times like these, right? You can't expect everything to be ponies and rainbows all the time. That's just part of life. That's part of your career. That's part of building a business. It's all about having a plan A, plan B, plan C, because you'll find that oftentimes when the situation gets bad is that you'll know the real ones from the fake ones. It's the real ones that stand behind you at the end of the day. Throughout my life, I never really reaped the fruits of where I was planted. And by that I mean I was hopped within different countries, different worlds, and the stability was just never there. And what I realized is a lot of people think growth means abandoning where they came from. Or they think that refinement means that you have to reject simplicity. Or that ambition means that you have to distance yourself from your roots. But maybe maturity is learning how to integrate those contradictions instead of escaping them. And that's exactly what the village world has taught me. I grew up in Toronto, Canada, and I went from there to an unknown village here in Lebanon, and it was quite a stark contrast. It was quite a shock in my life. But finally, I've made peace with both of those worlds. Maybe an ideal life isn't built by choosing one side of yourself after all, but rather by learning how to bring all your worlds or all sides of yourself together into one identity. Got my coffee here, and I just wanted to say cheers for joining me on this journey. Regardless of whether you balance one world, two worlds, three worlds, multiple worlds, I think we can all agree that all worlds have lessons to teach us. But aside from the worlds that we live in, the time that we spend also has significance on what we learn. In my next video, I'm about to show you guys what the most unsuspecting day, Tuesday, has taught me. So I hope to see you there. If you've enjoyed this vlog or you enjoy my content overall, I would appreciate a like, and I would appreciate you subscribing to my channel, where we can take this journey to brand leadership together.